Opinion. India on path of growth, shouldn't be weakened by violence. Having worn the nation's sacred olive green uniform for nearly 41 years with undying pride, many thoughts swirl these days around my aging mind. Mostly happy ones, but certainly a few which also do intensely agitate. I am sure similar thoughts would be raging the consciousness of millions of ordinary Indians who love their country and would be wondering on the futility of actions which slow us down from a deserving seat on the global high table. India, unquestionably, is on the cusp of becoming, sooner than later, a global power, but why then habitually do we create problems to stifle the march towards our destiny? When the British rulers left in August 1947, we were virtually penniless, devoid of basic necessities and facilities, and with governing structures more or less non-existent. The cataclysmic partition of the country was based on the ill-founded concept of the two-nation theory. This had left millions of Hindus and Sikhs migrating to India, with large numbers of Muslims moving to what then became Pakistan. Hundreds of thousands among this population were mutually butchered and properties of each other burnt and destroyed. From the ashes of this humongous catastrophe, efforts commenced by the Nehru-ruled Indian government to establish the structures of governance, restore law and order, and commence working towards development. That trend continued with all successive governments thereafter, working to put the nation on the path of economic growth despite formidable myriad odds. And today, India is the fifth largest economy of the world with a GDP of US $4.30 trillion and third largest in purchasing power parity. The present Modi government has set for itself a target to become the third largest economy of the world by 2030. Should not all efforts go towards reaching our assigned goals, the responsibility for fulfilling our national mission lies with all of us, the government and all its institutions, the public and the intelligentsia, and, above all, the political leadership. Before we seek answers to our mission promoting factors, it is abundantly clear that India faces many challenges: social, political, economic, and security challenges to its development and well-being. The world, especially post the devastating COVID-19 era, in the past 3 years or so has witnessed global and regional disruptions as never before since the end of World War II in 1945. India too, by extension, gets largely affected as it is situated in one of the most restive regions in the world. The collusive threat from an overly assertive China coupled with a terror-driven Pakistan calls for adequate security preparedness by India. Overall, thus both the military and non-military challenges have to be borne in mind. If any dispassionate observer of the national scenario would analyze, the foremost factor which puts a solid spoke in our growth and stability is when some of us forget or conveniently disregard the basic factor of national unity, inter-societal harmony. India's diversity is amazing, complex, and mind-boggling. Its racial diversity embraces a wide variety of different religious, ethnic, cultural and linguistic groups. Of the 121 languages and 270 dialects, India has 22 officially recognized languages. This diversity, at times, can lead to serious differences between our states, which are linguistically conceived, besides religion and caste two being polarizing factors. Some political parties do exploit these differences in their selfish vote-catching machinations. It goes without saying that the chasms engineered by some politicians often lead to violent acts in communal disturbances causing great destruction all around. According to media reports, India witnessed 59 communal riots, big and small, in 2024 compared to 32 in 2023. Unfortunately, most of such riots are triggered around or on religious festivals and processions. Mass-scale arson, destruction of property and even lynching and killings do take place during these riots. Some of these riots are engineered to polarize certain communities for electoral ends, and some occur as counterstrokes. It's a matter of shame that even 77 years after our independence, we still suffer from communal frenzy, sometimes on frivolous grounds. Totally unacceptable in a modern, secular, and inclusive society. Last month, serious riots broke out in Nagpur in Maharashtra over the removal of the tomb of the 17th century Mughal ruler Aurangzeb from Sambhajinagar. It is ironic that a cruel and communal Mughal emperor, who even murdered his elder brother Darashikoh, has become relevant to the current times. Even the Nagpur headquartered and the fountainhead of Hindu Renaissance in the nation, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS, criticized the demand of the removal of Aurangzeb's tomb, stating that Aurangzeb was irrelevant in today's times. Communal divides weaken the nation. Even the Muslims across the nation who do not agree with the recent passage of the Waqf bill have no business to go on rampage, burning and destroying the properties of their fellow citizens like what is seen currently in West Bengal. Violence has no place in a sane society. The nation, facing myriad formidable challenges to its security and well-being, direly requires a whole-of-nation approach to successfully tackle them. India thus requires its political parties to rise above their own selfish interests and all its 142 crore people to march in unison to attain the nation's goals. It is thus opportune time to rise and introspect own failings and carry out mid-course corrections to strengthen our secular fabric and ensure fairness to all its citizens. Swipe left for next video. Let our countrymen follow the inspiring path of the Indian Armed Forces, who are a shining example of unity in diversity and service to the nation. For the Indian Armed Forces, their only religion, caste, or creed is India first and India last, and nothing in between. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.